A student read 24 books in 15 weeks. Which graph has a slope that best models this rate? So when we're given two numbers, and then we're asked to choose the slope in the form of a graph, we're going to take both of those numbers and we're going to figure out which one is x and which one is y. In this case, time is always x. So 15 is x and 24 books is y. So the first step we want to do is see if we can find this point on any of these graphs. Before I even get started though, I can already tell that A is wrong. We don't ever choose a graph that looks like that. And D is wrong. We also don't choose a graph that looks like that. Okay, so now between these two, let's see if I can find the point 15, 24. So 15 is going to be between 10 and 20. And this one goes up to between 6 and 12. Well, we know that won't be it. Again, 15, and we stop at the graph, and we get 24. So we know our answer here is B. For this next question, it says Dylan can bike 6 miles in half an hour. Which line has a slope that best represents Dylan's speed in miles per hour? So again, we're given two numbers, and we're asked to determine a slope from a graph. So from these two numbers, we have to determine which of these is x and which of these is y. And again, time is always x, so we have 0.5, comma, 6. We're going to see if we can find this point on any of these graphs. But I do want to make this a little bit easier. I don't want to look for half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into decimals, and I'm going to put 0.5 divided by 6, or x divided by y, and turn that into a fraction. So now I know that instead of looking for 0.56, I can look for 1, 12. So I'm going to look for the point 1, 12 on these graphs. Okay, so here we have 1, and it's a little bit less than 10. So A cannot be our answer. Here I have 1, and it's a little bit higher than 10, so maybe. 1, lower than 10, so no. And 1, that goes all the way up to 30, so also no. Our answer here is B. Okay, question number 3. A printing store used 24 ounces of ink in 18 minutes. Which graph has a slope that best represents the average number of ounces of ink used per minute? So again, here we're given two numbers. We're asked to choose a graph that has choose a slope from a graph. So step 1 again is to figure out which of these two numbers is my x value and which is my y value. This again is easy. Time is always x, so that's going to give me 18, comma 24. And I'm going to see if I can look for 18, comma 24 on any of these graphs. But what I'm noticing already is that on my x-axis, it only goes up to 10. So there's no way that I can go up to and look for the 18. So I'm going to go back to decimals. I'm going to use that trick again. 18 divided by 24. Turn that into a fraction. And that's going to give me a simplified point, simplified coordinate to look for. So I'm going to look for 3, comma 4. Okay, so A goes from 3 to 2. That's not correct. B goes from 3 to 4, so possibly. C goes from 3 to 5, so that's not correct. And D goes from 3 to 8, also not correct. So our answer here is B, as in boy. Okay, next question. It says a bookshelf contains 15 books that each have the same width. The combined width for all 15 books is 12 inches. Which graph has a slope that best models the width of each book? Okay, so again, we're given our two numbers here and asked to find a graph that contains the slope for this situation. Okay, so again, step one is to figure out which of these numbers is X and which one is Y. However, books and inches are not so easy to distinguish. So in that case, I'm going to go to my graphs, and I can see that my x-axis is number of books. So that tells me that my x value then is 15 because she has 15 books, and my y value is inches. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to look for the point 15, 12. However, I can already see that the graphs don't go that far. They only go to 9. So I'm going to go into decimals and use my trick again. I'm going to do 15 divided by 12, turn that into a fraction, and it's going to give me a smaller coordinate to look for. So 5, 4. So I'm going to go into these graphs and look for the coordinate 5, 4. This is 5, 6. So that is incorrect. This one is 5, 5. Incorrect. 5, 4. Maybe. And again, we can tell that this graph is automatically wrong because it doesn't have a slope. So our answer here would be B, as in boy. Next question says, Gwen spent $12.50 to purchase 5 bracelets. Each bracelet costs the same amount. Which graph has the slope that best represents this rate? So same situation here. It's a proportional relationship. We want to find the graph that matches this relationship. So we need to find which of these are X and Y. I'm going to look at my graphs. The number of bracelets purchased is my X value. So that means that my X value is 5. My Y value is 12.50. So now I have a coordinate to look for in my graph. Okay, so when X is 5, Y should be 12.50. This one does not have any point up here at 12.50. That one is wrong. Again, when X is 5, Y is 12.50. This is above 12, so that's a possible answer. When X is 5, there is no point here at 12. That is incorrect. And when X is 5, it says that Y is 2. So that is incorrect. Our correct answer here is C, as in cat. Next question says a student traveled a distance of 68 miles in 136 minutes. Which graph has a slope that best represents its rate? Again, time is always X, so we have 136, 68. Now I can already tell that this coordinate is way too big. I'm going to have to simplify it. So I'm going to use my trick, 136 divided by 68, and it gives me 2. So that means that I'm actually going to go ahead and do something here to show you. 68 divided by 136 so that you guys can kind of see a better value. If it doesn't give you another number here, it's always going to be 1. So 1, 2. So I'm looking for the coordinate 1, 2. Okay, so let's go 1, 2, possibly 1, not even close to 1, 1, 3, no, and again, we don't choose graphs that look like this. So our answer here is A.